Good evening, everybody. How are you? It's Sunday. It's the 12th of July, 2020. Still in lockdown. Still in, oh my goodness me, it just feels like it's been going forever. Just wait for a few people. I'm a little bit late. It's because I'd forgotten to tune the guitars, and I'm a musician, and musicians are always late, are they not? So hopefully people will be tuned in soon. How the devil are you? This is tonight's show. This is a good start. No voice. Tonight's show is I'm going to play my debut album in its entirety. And it's quite long, so I probably should shut up and just start playing. I hope you're all well. Now, this first song, I'm not actually certain of the track listing of where I'm going to have the songs, but I've been rehearsing, and I did this set list the last 2 days, and it's like, this sounds good, so I'm going to go for it. Now, I've been saying for months that the opening song of the album is Just Because You're Gone, but I've actually been experimenting with the title track. Now, the title track was originally a song I wrote when my father passed away, and it was, it was written not long after, so it was very kind of raw, and at the time I couldn't. It was too soon after he passed away, and I put it to one side, and it kind of stayed there for years, and then many years later, I wrote another song, Just Because You're Gone, and I actually took some of the lines out of Just Because You're Gone to go into Just Because You're Gone. Sorry, I took from the original song. I took some words and put them into Just Because You're Gone. And to be honest, but anyway, I thought I would decide that I would record the original song, but I made it an instrumental. So I'm going to start with the instrumental. After all that long-winded bah, 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 that's what I'm basically getting at. Katerina, hello. Matty, hello. And this is the title track of the album. I guess I don't actually normally say what the title track is, but I guess if I'm playing the album, I have to, don't I? The album is called Melancholy Air. If anyone can help, Grey J Wall is trying to find it, but let me. I was just while I saw that just before I started playing. Hang on. And it's not letting me tag him. Oh, yes, it is. There we go. So what I'm going to do, the album is called Melancholy Air. Now, this track, it may end up being the opening track, but it also features violins by Pavel Singal, who, if you know him, he played with Phil Schoenfeld in Czech Republic, but he also plays with Lorraine Leckie from New York. And when I was in New York, I went and saw them play, so it was great to see them. But this is the title track anyway. It's an autumnal song, and it's meant to be reflective. So have a listen, and it goes like this. So it gives you a rough idea. But that's the title track. Obviously, it features... I mean, I decided to play it on 12-string there, but it's a 6-string, there's a 12-string, there's violins, there's a lead guitar part. Obviously, I can't do all of it in one go, much as I would like to. But I thought I would shake it up a bit when I'm playing the songs, rather than just... Normally, I just play this one. So I thought maybe I should shake up some of the songs by performing them on different guitars. Amazing, I only tuned this up a minute ago and So that was the title track. That was called Melancholy Air. Hey, Nick, how are you? This one is originally, as I said, I was going to call it the first song on the album. But this one, anyone who's been tuning in to these performances will know this song. Yeah, well, the idea that I first came up with that piece of music for Melancholy Air many, many years ago, but then when my dad died, I made it into a song. And it's one of them things that when you hear the recorded version, it could go on and on and on. I always imagine I'm looking across a field, sun is going down, there's a bird flying, and you're just lost in your thoughts. That's what it is. So this one is the one. This is the one that is about my father. This is called Just Because You're Gone Doesn't Mean I Don't Love You. And I tend to dedicate it to various people. I've dedicated it obviously to my father. I did it for Jesse Malin. His father passed away when his last album was being made. Actually, a friend of mine who I've just found out, his father passed away, not recently, but during this pandemic. So I dedicated it to him. This is to Steve Hudson. It goes like this. It goes like this. Just because you're gone, it doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you're not there, it doesn't mean that I don't care. The rooms you once inhabited were filled with your life, plunged into darkness as you stepped out of sight. Just because you're gone, it doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you're not there, it doesn't mean that I don't care. Because I do. Because I do. Because I do. I still miss you, and I always will. The last time I kissed you, it lingers on in my memory still. The years that you were there were the best years of my life. You were always so supportive throughout the trouble and the strife. Just because you're gone, it doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you're not there doesn't mean that I don't care. Because I do. Because I do. Because I do. You never judged. You were always there for me. Now many years have passed, and I've not forgotten to see. Your memory still burns deep down inside of me. That's the way that it will always be. Just because you're gone, it doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you're not there, it doesn't mean that I don't care. Because I do. because I do. Because I do. Because I do. You didn't see that, right? I'm barefoot. So that song, I want to get back into the studio because I've come up with this really good lead part for it. So I'm really anxious to get back in to add this lead guitar part to it. And that song, in the lyric, in the second verse, it says, "I still miss you and I always will. The last time I kissed you lingers on in my memory still." And it's actually, that line is actually, the last time I kissed my father was after he died. You know, I was with him when he died, and so that line is about actually kissing him after he's passed away. And the bit about being supportive, because my dad, you know, came from a very different time. He was into big band music and piano music. You know, he was old when rock and roll started. He was in his 30s. So he, you know, he didn't understand my music at all, and especially the music I was playing when I was younger. And but he always used to come and see me play. And the really funny thing was that he'd turn up at the gigs, whatever band I was in. He didn't like the music, but he was there. And my bandmates were like, "Jesus Christ, who's that standing at the back?" And I'm like, "Who?" They go, "The one that looks like he's in the craze with a slick back hair and a suit and tie. Looks like he's ready to kill someone." I'm like, "Oh, that's my dad." He used to scare some of my friends. Some of them were scared of him because, you know, he looked quite mean, and he used to be a boxer. So yeah, it's quite funny. So Gray, you did find it. Good. Okay, this next song is I definitely want it to be third place on the album. I don't know why, but I do. And it features on lead guitar my friend from Australia, Mr. Michael Plater. And it also features Catherine Blake on toy piano, which was Michael's idea. When Michael came in the studio to record his parts, he saw the toy piano lying there and he said, "Does it work?" And it was kind of broken. But then Catherine put the part down, and, you know, it's because the song is about depression, Howling Wind, and it's kind of like psychotic, mental. And the music that Michael made for it is like really psychotic. It's great. And so when we put the toy piano on as well, it was perfect. And that was Michael's idea. You know, and I'm really glad he did. I would actually love to do some more work with Michael because he's great. Last time he played in London, he had me get up and do this next song I'm about to play. But check Michael Plater out. He's on Bandcamp. Check him out. Also a compilation that came out a few weeks ago called The Colour of Sound. And I'm on it. Michael's on it. Monty, Malcolm Carlo is on it. Bell Phoenix is on it. There's loads of people I know on it. Check it out on Bandcamp. So it's What Colour is Sound? Have a listen to that. And it features a song of mine called My Bitter Tears, which isn't on the album because it's too new, and these are the older ones. It's also, I'm wearing a silk shirt. It's hot. So this one is the third one on the album. It's called The Howling Wind. Sometime after the Festival of Goodwill, I first began to feel that deadly chill. It crept up deep down inside my bones and made itself feel right at home. Another year is over, another one is about to begin. Yesterday has been and washed away all its sins, and the new year has only just begun. It slaps you round the face like the steel of a deadly gun. It's the howling wind, it comes from within. It's the howling wind, it always wins. Listen carefully, you can hear the howling wind. Comes way down deep within your soul, from way down within. And all that misery, when it rises to the top, just remember that it very rarely stops. If you listen carefully, you could hear it out there, blasting around in the cold night air. You can hear it howling around the trees outside, and if you listen carefully, you might just get hypnotized. It's the howling wind, it comes from within. It's the howling wind, it always wins. Robert Johnson heard it, so did Kurt Cobain, Nick Drake and Churchill, they gave it the same name. They heard its screams of tormented pain. They heard it over and over again. It's right behind you, breathing down your neck. Can you feel it? Hot, putrid breath. It's the howling wind, it comes from within. It's the howling wind, it always wins. It's the howling wind, it comes from within. It's the howling wind, it always wins. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear? Yes. Can you hear the howling wind? I certainly have. Actually, I was going to tell you a story about my dad. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, Bastian, and I was talking about, because he's doing a family quiz around about now online, and I just said to him, well, if you get stuck, I'm good at geography, history, and music. Sport is so-so, and I just happened to mention boxing, and my dad used to be a boxer. So I was telling him the story about there was a boxer in the 50s called Randolph Turpin, who was the world middleweight champion of the world at one point. And my dad was in the RAF, and Randolph Turpin was touring, and this is when he was the champion. And there's pictures of my dad sparring in a boxing ring with him, and he claims to have put Randolph Turpin down on the canvas, and it was the only time at that point in his career that Randolph Turpin had been put on the canvas. I mean, I don't know, because I wasn't there. I wasn't even born. But I do have the photos of my dad in the ring with Randolph Turpin and a signed picture of Randolph Turpin. But it led on to another story at the end of the Second World War. The story is, I'll tell you, my stepmother, after my dad had passed away, she was going through some of his stuff. And one day she just rang me and she's like, I'm really, really worried. And I'm like, why? She's like, I've just been going through your father's stuff. And I'm like, okay. She's like, I've just found a gun. I was like, a gun? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Which one? And she's kind of like, what do you mean, which one? I've just found a gun. I was like, yeah, which one is it? He had more than one. She's like, what? You know about this? And I'm like, yeah. So I described it to her. She described it to me. And I went, oh, that's the one he stole in the tank. She's like, the tank? I went, yeah, at the end of the war. She goes, what tank? I go, did he not tell you about the time he stole an American tank and he was driving it around, joyriding? And she's like, no. I went, yeah, he stole a tank. You know, he was a teenager. He was driving around and the MPs showed up. So they made off. They ran out of a tank, but they'd stole the helmet, a gun, and the gun sight from the tank. And she was like, oh my God, I'm beginning to wonder what kind of man I married. So that's a story about my dad. He also tried to steal a Hurricane fighter plane, but that wasn't successful. And he used to lecture me about do not steal, do not steal. And I'm like, okay, you stole a tank and you tried to steal a fighter aircraft, and you're talking to me about not stealing. Okay. Anyway, this next song is on the album. I'm going to be playing some songs that I've not played live before, or certainly not recently. So there's some stuff on the album that you won't have heard before. This one, next one, you have heard before. This song started out as one thing and ended up as another, but it's about gentrification. Look, I've actually got a set list. It's about gentrification. So I tend to think of cities like London, Berlin, New York, places that all look the bloody same. So this is about, it's my letter to London, but it could be New York, it could be Berlin, because Berlin has changed a lot since I first went there. It's very difficult to recognize. It's like everything's like the bloody same. So this one is called The Way Things Used to Be. And this is only one of two songs on the album where it's just me and a guitar. Because the other stuff, there's violins, there's 12 strings, there's lead guitar. But this is one of only two. It's just me and the guitar, because I just wanted it to be very sparse. I was thinking of Nicky Sudden, Dead Man Tell No Tales. And it goes like this. And some people think it's a love song. No. Or maybe it is a love song to the past. It's like a graveyard of memories, looking back on happier times and the way things used to be. Once there was love and laughter, sunshine forever, blue skies. Now there's nothing left now, except the tears falling from my eyes. There's nothing left now of the way things used to be. My heart is like a graveyard of memories of the way things used to be, of the way things used to be. Now it's all over and everyone has gone away. There was a time, thought it lasts forever and a day. But now we're all older, we know the things, but they just ain't built to last. Try as I might, I'm still a prisoner to my past. There's nothing left now of the way things used to be. My heart is like a graveyard of memories of the way things used to be, of the way things used to be. As I look around this town now, everything I once knew seems to disappear. I recognize this endless with each passing year. And as my memories of this town disappear into the mist of time, won't you tell me your story? You just heard mine. There's nothing left now of the way things used to be. My heart is like a graveyard of memories of the way things used to be. Of the way things used to be. There we go. That one was originally called My Heart is Like a Graveyard of Memories. And I got the title. There's a band from America, an all-girl band called the Darts, not to be confused with the 70s revivalist lot. But there was this band called the Darts, and I remember going to see them play. They were on Dirty Water Records. Oh my God, they were fantastic. They were just, it was like a wall of energy, power, and they had great songs. And they had this song called My Heart is a Graveyard. And it's nothing like that. It's like, my heart is a... They're like garage rock. And check them out. Check out the Darts, My Heart is a Graveyard. Or It's Like a Graveyard. I can't remember. But I thought it was a great title. So I thought, I'll have that. And then I had to write a song. And it was sounding like a love song. And it's not a love song. So what I did, I just changed 2 lines in the last verse. And it became the song that you just heard. It's a little bit of useless information there. Yeah, Miranda, how are you? The gun, I don't know, because my dad had 2. He had a Colt 45, which I can't remember. When I was a kid, I used to play with these things. He converted them so that they were air guns. He'd done something where, because we were playing with them. My dad taught me to shoot when I was like 8 or something. It's been a long time, but I used to be able to shoot pretty well and throw knives. But that was... years later, when I was a teenager, I taught myself to be a very effective knife thrower. So it might come in handy one day. Mind you, my eyes are not so good, so maybe it would be who knows. But yeah, it was a standard issue sort of 1940s American pistol. I think it was a Colt, but it was the old Colt 45 with a pearl handle. He had one of those, but then there was the other one that was more like rectangular. And that was the one we used to play with as children. Yeah, these days people play on great Game of Thrones, and they play on their computers. I used to play with guns and shoot things, and I used to get on a raft and disappear off on the river all day long and never have to worry about things when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And we knew how to deal with people. I was telling somebody we had the local dirty old man tried to take me into his house one day, and I must have been about 8 or 9, and he had his arm around me, so I just kicked him in the shin and turned around, punched him in the mouth, and that was the end of that. No further problem. That's how we deal with things in the 70s. But if there's anybody out there who there's any kind of someone's doing something they shouldn't, then you should tell someone, and don't feel embarrassed about it, because that's what the people that do these kind of things rely on, people being scared or embarrassed. If anything's going on, tell someone. That's your lecture from your Uncle Dave. Now, this next one is on the album. So I should actually put the set list here so I can look at it. This one is on the album. I used to play this a lot live, but I haven't played it live for a long time. This is quite an old song, actually. And it's the first verse I had for many years, but the second and the third verses are from different. But anyway, this isn't a song off the album which you won't have heard me play before, And I do believe that the YouTube version that was on was taken down because the guy who filmed it, they took his channel off him. So this song is called Hole with a W. And do you know what? I didn't realize this, but it was only when I was listening to, and maybe I shouldn't say, see if you can tell me anything about this song that sounds familiar. The words, not the music. And it goes like this. When I wake up in a bed by myself, I wish you were here instead of someplace else. And if you were here, I'd wrap my arms all around. And when you wake up, gaze into your eyes a beautiful brown, because you're in my heart, you're in my soul. When we're together, baby, you make me feel whole. It's been such a long time, so many things to do, thinking about all the things that I want to say to you. Sometimes I just need a little bit of time to myself. Maybe just once you might understand this as well, because you're in my heart, you're in my soul. When you're together, baby, you make me feel whole. Going into the solo now, except I can't do it. Because you're in my heart, you're in my soul. When we're together, baby, you made me feel whole. And suddenly you're back now, like you never been gone. You said you loved and you missed me, and you wanna carry on. One of my friends asked me, was I happier when you were there? I said, being in love with you was like dancing on air, because you're in my heart, you're in my soul. Together, baby, you make me feel whole. That's really funny. Gray J Wall has just got it. Rod Stewart. Yeah, I didn't realize this, but the chorus is, the words are pretty much identical to what's that Rod Stewart song? The one that goes, you're in my heart, you're in my soul. Da, 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 da. That one. Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm familiar with Rod Stewart, but it never made me think that those are the same words. But obviously it's in my head. It's like I used to write, when I first started writing songs many years ago, or not, No, when I first started writing songs, they were political stuff. When I was not writing political stuff, I used to have a song that went sort of no, it was. I've forgotten how it goes. Yeah, like that. So I had this song in my head, and I was going. Here comes that girl walking down the street. Da, 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 da. It was the Shangri-La's, isn't it? Great Big Kiss. But I didn't know that. It must have seeped into my consciousness at some point. But it's great. It's Great Big Kiss, which obviously famously covered by Johnny Thunders. Yeah, You're in My Heart. Yeah, so that's. It's weird how it's it's taken me years and years to notice that it's the same words as Rod Stewart, because it wasn't conscious. It was not conscious at all. Subconscious is a very weird thing. So, and I am saying that word so. The next one, shall I do this? I'm going to do something really odd here. Bear with me. I'm actually going to play the song on 2 guitars. So the next song is another one that you will have heard before. And again, it's obviously on the album, and I do play it live. But I'm actually going to switch guitars in the middle of the song or at the beginning of the song. So this could go horribly wrong. I've never tried this before. And what's the best time to do it when you're playing live streaming is to practice to do this. I've never ever tried to do this before. So if this goes horribly wrong, you know why. Okay, so this one is on the album. This one is a true story. It's written about a band I used to be in. The lead singer, there were 2 guys in the band that were heroin addicts, and one of them, when I play this live, I tell 2 stories. This is the true story, and then there's the one that I just say. This is the one day we were going to rehearsal. It was in 2004. And on the way to rehearsal, our lead singer bumped into, I'm not going to mention his name, bumped into his heroin dealer. And he basically scored some heroin. And then him and his wife shot up, promptly overdosed. And then we had to take them to A&E. So basically, to me, it was like he chose heroin over the band. And I did tell him, I knew he was a heroin addict when I first started playing. And I said to him, I don't care what you do. You want to do that stuff? Don't bring it on the stage. Don't bring it in the rehearsal room. Don't bring it on the recording studio. Apart from that, do what you want. And he brought it in, and that was it. So I had to go. Or no, more accurately, he had to go. This song is called Was It Really Worth It? And I'm going to switch over guitars. So this could go horribly wrong. Here we go. The reason why I'm playing on this guitar will become obvious. Woo! Are you going to the man tonight? Out in this winter cold. Don't forget to take your heart with you. I know he's already got you sold. The boy kicked out of the world, and the world kicked back. The boy kicked out of the drugs, and the drugs kicked back. A lot fucking harder. Was it really worth it? Was it really worth it? Was it really worth it? Now you're never deeper. You gotta maintain every day. Now you gotta go see the man to keep the itchy burn away. The boy thought he lost the world, but then it won't come back. The boy thought he kicked the drugs, but then the motherfuckers came back. And was it really worth it? 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 Now you lost all your friends and family, everyone that kept you from home. You sold everything you ever owned to keep that needle in your arm. Now it's too late for you, my unlucky little friend, as your life reaches its logical end. And I have to ask you, was it really worth it? 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 The answer is, it is never worth it. Where have I put the... Oh, there it is. Yeah, I thought you might as well, if you're going to play some Spanishy stuff, you might as well play it on a classical guitar. But I can't actually remember whether I did it on which guitar I played. When I recorded it on the album, I can't actually remember now which guitars I'm using. This one definitely for some of it, but I've got a feeling the 6 string is on there, the acoustic. All of the guitars I've played so far, they're all on the album. And there's going to be my Telecaster. It's going to be on Just Because You're Gone. That's what I'm going to do. The lead part is going to be on my Telecaster, I've decided. So it'll be all jingly jangly and loud like a Telecaster. I love Telecasters. This next song, I managed it. Okay, cool. This next song is... What's going on here? What's going on? This next song you will be familiar with. I wrote this for a friend of mine who I've told the story many times, but if you haven't heard it before, you're going to have to bear with me, the ones that have. A friend of mine in 2013 lost his wife, and it was 2015. It was the second anniversary of her passing away. And she'd been ill for a long time, and he hadn't been out for a long time caring for her. And she passed away, and he was in a really bad way, very, very, just inconsolable. And I was watching him so hurt. He was so hurt. And I was just like, what can I do? Because, you give him a hug, that wasn't helping. You were doing all these things, just wasn't helping. And so I ended up writing this song. And I said to him, if you don't like it, I'll scrap it. I'll never put it anywhere. But thankfully, he liked it. But this song goes out to anybody who's lost anybody. I'm going to dedicate this one to Ace McCoy, who's, I'm not sure if she's tuned in, but she's over there in America. And she lost her husband, and she said that she finds this song comforting, which to me as a songwriter, if you can write a song that someone can relate to, or, you know, brings them joy or happiness or comfort, that's what it's all about as far as I'm concerned. So when she said that, that was just like, oh my God, thank you. You know, that was the best thing you could do. But I dedicate this to Ace. And it's also, this is dedicated to my friend's late wife, Marianne, which the song is titled. This is Marianne. You were together for so many years, lots of smiles, love and laughter, maybe just a few tears. But you were together till the very end, not just partners in love, but each other's best friends. Oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne. And your love will keep you together forever and a day, and your memories will burn bright inside till the end of time. Oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne. And then you had to go away. I know he thinks about you each and every day, and he carries you now in his heart and memories, and that's the way it will always be. Oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne. And your love will keep you together forever and a day, and your memories will burn bright inside till the end of the time. Oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne. Jeanette, hi, how are you? So I dedicate that to Ace's husband, Brian, and also Marianne, who the song is named after. Again, the next couple of songs, because I was saying at the beginning that I don't know the exact track listing yet, But I always knew what I wanted to start the album, I knew what I wanted to finish the album, and I knew what I wanted slap bang in the middle. And these next two songs are slap bang in the middle. And the first song, I wrote this when Hurricane Sandy hit New York. I was watching live cam as landfall. So all the scenes that I describe in this next song, actually I watched on live stream. And also when I went to New York last year, I played at the Bowery Electric and I played at the Otto Shrunken Head. And the Bowery Electric, it was like my first gig in New York ever. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to play again or whatever. Well, I knew I was playing 2 gigs, but I was like, I have to. This song I wrote for the people of New York because a lot of people I knew were affected by Hurricane Sandy. So I wrote this song for the people of New York. It's my song to New York. And normally I would never open a set with this song because it's slow. But I'm like, I'm in New York. I have to do this. Might never be here again. I have to do it. I have to do it. So I did. This song is called The Night Sandy Came to Town, and it's going to go straight into another song called Walkin Away, which again is written about New York. And I dedicate that to a couple of friends of mine as well. But yeah, I'm fine, Jeanette. I'm all right. I'm not bad. So I opened my debut New York show. Nick, were you at that gig at the Bowery Electric? I know Charles was. I'm just trying to remember because I get confused at who was at what show. Charles was at the Bowery Electric show. This goes out to the people of New York. The night Sandy came to town. Tonight it's cold in New York City. Those famous lights have gone out downtown. East Village is underwater. What's happening to this old town? The night that Sandy came to town. The night Sandy came to town. Breezy Point is burning. Rockaway Beach, Boardwalk, been washed away. Howard Beach is underwater. What would old Blue Eyes have to say about the night Sandy came to town? The night Sandy came to town. Times Square is empty and windswept. There's no one out tonight in this town. Over on Staten, there's no electricity. All power is down. The night Sandy came to town the night that Sandy came to town. Imagine New York City Harbor, middle of winter, cold, foggy, you can't see a damn thing. Actually, Gray, you did the harmonica on this live once. For the first time in its history, the famous New York subway is under the sea. Well, I don't know about you, but I take my hope from that statue out in the bay, welcoming everyone in. And I know that this old town will win, because the night Sandy came to town, the night Sandy came to town. Take it away now. This song goes out to Ellen O'Brien and Willow Rivera. It's for them. It's called Walkin Away. I came onto the station platform. I saw you standing there. I called out after you, but you were no longer there. Just walking away. Just walking away. Just walking away. Just walking away. Walking down the street to New York City, on the corner of 2nd and St. Mark's, he saw her there. But when he got to the gem spot, ice cream stall, she was no longer there. She just walking away. She just walking away. She just walking away. Just walking away. Now I'm gonna do the solo. Down, 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 On the album, that's a 12-string solo. And obviously I can't, my hands are killing me because I'm holding the same chord for so long. My hands are dead. But yeah, on the album, there's a 12-string solo, and it goes down, 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 down. It goes like this. But on a 12-string, it goes... It's like that all over the outro. but it's on a 12 string. I originally was going to do it on a 6 string, but then I thought, this sounds pretty good, so I went with it. Oh my God, that killed my hands. So this next song, so Nick, sorry, it's just I couldn't remember if it was Otto's Shrunken Head. I knew I'd seen you, but I couldn't remember if it was Otto's Shrunken Head or the Bowery Electric. But it was the Bowery. It was on the Friday at Puma's Pandemonium. Right, this next one, I'm going to dedicate this to my friend in Finland, Katarina, because she knew this guy. This is a song that I wrote when Kevin Jr. of the Chamber Strings passed away. And it also name checks Nicky Sudden epic soundtracks and Roland S. Howard. And when we did this, I did this Nicky Sudden tribute gig, a celebration of Nicky Sudden's music in London 4 years ago. In fact, 4 years ago, next weekend, on the 19th, no, the 22nd, we did it on the 22nd, so it's actually a couple of weeks. Because Nicky's birthday is the 19th of July, so we tried to make it as close to his birthday to do it. Going to do another one sometime. When all this is over, we're going to do another one. So this one, again, I always imagine this on a 12 string, but there is a 12 string on the record, but it's playing a lead part at the beginning, but I'm going to play it on the 6 string. This goes out to Katarina, and this is a song for Kevin. Also, if you ever want to watch back, if you're not watching this, on the YouTube channel, underneath there's playlists, and one of them says Plasma TV, and is Be performing Just Because You're Gone, The Night Sandy Came to Town, and this one, Song for Kevin. And this is how it goes. It was great. You have to come and play again. I think there's talk about it happening in Europe next time. Also, this song, I'm going to use a plectrum. Normally, I don't use plectrums. I don't play with plectrums. But this one, I need to. This could work, because I didn't rehearse with a plectrum, so... The news today that you passed away. You passed away. I didn't believe it. Didn't know what to say. Didn't know what to say. I couldn't believe that it could be true. It could be true. For I could just pick up a phone and talk to you. And talk to you. Whoa! Life is so fragile, so easily taken away. So easily taken away. Like the grains of sand on the beach, never really meant to stay. Never really meant to stay. They say make the most of each and every day. Each and every day. 'Cause none of us really know how long we're here to stay. How long Whoa! So rest in peace now, suffer no more, suffer no more. Reunited with your friends who've gone before, who've gone before. Epic Road and Nicky will be there for you, be there for you. And one of these days I'll come and join you too, and join you too. Whoa! So farewell now, my lovely friend, my lovely friend. And just remember that this is not the end. This is not the end. No, this is not the end. No, this is not the end. Rest in peace, Kevin. Again, that one features a 12-string solo on the record. I just realised, Gray, that's where I met you. That's how I met Gray. Was at the Nicky Sudden Do. I said that song I just played was the only. I did 4 songs. I did 3 Nicky songs and 1 original, but it name checked Nicky and his brother in it. Epic. And you know the best thing for me that night, the biggest thrill, was that Nicky and Epic's mother Lois was there. She was 83 years old, and Chris Coleman and his brother Nick drove her down to London to see this gig, and it was boiling hot. But you know, that was it for me. The fact that Nicky and Epic's mum was there, that was just it. You know, that was, I could die happy, because that was a very tough year for me, and to get that thing to actually happen, I was so happy. And to have Nicky's mum there, Nicky and Epic's mum, that was just the best. Hang on, let me just check what's happening. Okay. Right, so this next song, this is another one that I don't think I have played on these live streams. I've never played it live, or if I have, I don't remember. I don't think this is on my. If you go to my SoundCloud page, it's the first song that was on there, but now it's at the bottom. But originally, it was the first song I ever put up there, and I'm going to put the link to it into the chat. But this is a song that I wrote. It started out live. I was at my friend's house just playing away on a guitar, and his cat, who was alive at the time, was just lying on a rug in the sunlight, and I was just playing this song, and it came out, and I literally wrote the words as I wrote them out. It was just like song was done. So the song took 5-10 minutes to write. It was amazing. It was because some songs I have to really work hard at, and other songs 10 minutes and it's done. So this song, funnily enough, apparently, Paul Weller likes this song. Paul Weller's heard this song and he really liked it. So I'm like, ooh. I probably should use a plectrum for this one, but again, I didn't rehearse with one. I'm going to risk it. Because I don't like playing with plectrums, because I think you don't have the same feel. So this song is a song, it's called Heartbroken. And it goes like this. I don't play this very often. So here we are, once again, lying in my bed listening to the rain on my window pane. My head is hurting and it's so sore. Must have been too much of that wine the night before. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry, I play this song so rarely. I made a mistake. Please bear with me. So here we are, once again, lying in my bed listening to the rain on my window pane. My head is hurting and it's so sore. Must have been too much of that wine the night before. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh. Wondering if what you said to me was true. 'Cause baby, you're making me feel so blue. I'm sitting here drowning in my own misery. I wish that you just listen to me. Oh yeah. I'm heartbroken, I guess it's true. I'm heartbroken over you. I'm heartbroken, I guess it's true. I'm heartbroken, tired of fighting with you. It seems that I can win and you can lose. So I guess it's up to you to choose. Do you really want more anger, sorrow, misery and pain? Or do you want to try for happiness once again? Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. They say you take it out on those closest to you. Well, with you, honey, that's certainly true. But you have to be so goddamn mean to me. I've been so supportive of you, don't you see? I'm heartbroken, I guess it's true. I'm heartbroken over you. I'm not hiding behind a mask, that's just not true. I'm heartbroken, tired of fighting with you. honey. How about you? Sometimes I think you enjoy this, and that's so sad. Because if you carry on the way you are, you'll lose what you could have had. I love the way it ends abruptly like that. But yeah, apparently Paul Weller likes that one. I wasn't in the studio when he was there and heard it, but by all accounts, he did. This next one features this. The original is on my SoundCloud, I think. Yes, it is. And it has not one, but two 12-string tracks, guitar tracks. So, one wasn't enough. This song, this is a bit of a joke song. I don't normally do joke songs, but this is a bit of a joke song. I'm not going to say anymore. I'm just going to play the song. It's called I Sleep Alone. Don't need to play through. I sleep alone in my bed, all alone. I don't mind it every now and then. You used to watch over me as I slept fitfully. You be my guardian angel. You watch me as I slumber. My love for you goes strong. I just wish you were here now. Oh! All alone once more, staring at the ceiling, staring at the floor, wondering what it's all for. I remember the look in your eyes was there for all to see, a love in its purest intensity. Whoa! Not like no longer turned on, no comfort in my home. Now I sleep alone again. I'm in my bed, I sleep alone on my head. I guess I'll get used to it eventually. Oh! Funnily enough, I did something I always do. I did the words the wrong way round. I sang the wrong verse, but then I realised when I did it that I did it. I realised I'd done it, so I just changed it round, and no one was any the wiser. Whew. Right. If you'll just excuse me for a couple of seconds, I need to go to the toilet. I need a pee break, and then we're entering the last straight. Give me. One of the funny things about having cats is I've just went to the bathroom, and while I was there, I I I found my cat, one of my cats, like the bathroom mat. It's like he's got in it and kind of pulled it all over himself and is asleep. So it's like last time I saw him, he was on the bed, and now he's completely pulled all the covers all over himself and he's asleep. Why? This is what cats do. Actually, in the chat room, we've just been joined by a friend of mine, Patricia. She is the lady who took the photograph. It's going to be the front cover of the album. No, I'm just saying I've just walked in and the bathroom mat, it's like he's sat down on it and then pulled it all over himself, like to cover himself up as if he's cold, and he's asleep. And I'm like, why? Yeah, I should be thankful. At least he doesn't play with a toilet roll, although he did once. Right, this next one. This next one is actually the only song on the album that's not written by me. So you'll probably all like it. And it's also the only one on the album, apart from the instrumental, that's not sung by me. So this is going to be a bit strange because I don't know the words. And the reason why I don't know the words is because it's in Polish. It's a traditional Polish folk song. And basically, it's about a guy who's been bewitched by a lady with dark eyes. And basically, he's all upset and he sings about his guitar. So I'm not sure yet, Patricia, because I've got to finish it off in the studio. And COVID-19's kind of put a spanner in the works. So on the album, it features my lovely partner, Agata. She sings lead vocals and she's singing in Polish. So on the album, there's a Polish folk tune. Okay, you sing along there. She's there. So basically, she's singing on the album. She was like, "Why are you putting this on the album?" I'm like, "I like the song. I like it. I think it gives a nice feel." So this one is called, I can't pronounce it. It's a Gdybm Mai Guitare. But here we go. It goes like this, and I'm going to hum the words because I don't know them. But it's a shame. If we were on Zoom, she could sing them. It is also the only song on the album that is in free. It's in 3/4 tuning. It's 180 beats a minute, which is fast, but because of the tuning, it works. So yeah, I mean, I think it just brings something different to it. It's when I first learnt the song, I just felt very connected to it. You know, it speaks to me. You know, any musician will know what that I'm talking about. It speaks to me, that song, and I really like it. I like to play it. It's a very nice song to play. So, and I thought, because it's in Polish, I would never be able to pronounce the words. I'm terrible with languages. But Agato sings it, and she sings it very beautifully as well. And it's actually called Black Eyes, not Dark Eyes. Okay, so talking of which, this next song, this is the last song I recorded for the album. I mean, there's some more songs, but this is the last one I actually went in the studio, recorded, and like, that's it. No more songs on the album. And I did that. I did it this year, actually. I went in the studio this year and recorded it. And she doesn't know this, actually. She doesn't know I recorded this for the album. Well, you're finding out now. This is one I wrote for my kochania. It's a love song. And I thought, I'm going to put this on the album. And it goes like this. And I hope you like it. The first time she knew about it, my last gig of last year, I played it. And she saw she was like, saw on the set list and went, "Are you doing a cover of a Leadfoot song?" I was like, "No." She had no idea that I'd written the song. And the first time she knew about it is when I performed it and she was there. Yeah, that's what I like. It's very difficult to surprise her. I managed it that time. It goes like this. It's called What You Mean to Me. It's what you mean to me. It's so easy to see from the sparkle of your eyes to the love I feel inside. It's what you mean to me. What you mean to me. From the touch of your skin, from the love and heart that beats within, from the smile that lights up everywhere you go. It's not hard to see how I love you so. It's what you mean to me. What you mean to me. It's what you mean to me. What you mean to me. It's what you mean to me. It's what you mean to me. From all the love and support you give to me. It's so natural, like it's supposed to be. From your heart so pure and true, the true essence of you. It's what you mean to me. What you mean to me. I bless the day that we first met, where life like it was heaven sent. It showed my heart back to life, showed me what true love is really like. it's what you mean to me. What you mean to me. It's what you mean to me. What you mean to me. It's what you mean to me. It's what you mean to me. I couldn't do this without you. Believe me when I say it's true. All those little things that you do for me. You don't think I notice what I do, you see. It's what you mean to me. What you mean to me. We gave each other the keys to our hearts. No greater responsibility than when we part. But when it's all said and done, I choose you. I choose you. It's what you mean to me. 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 It's 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 what you mean to me. I managed to surprise her. It's so hard to surprise her. The funny thing is, that's a different version. The version I recorded is the original version, where there's a chorus between each verse, whereas that one, I've doubled the verses together. So that's actually an alternate version. So I might have to go back. It's shorter now, but I might have to go back in and re-record it. Or I might just leave it as it is. But yes, you didn't know it. I recorded that at the beginning of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the home run. By the way, this album's long. In case you didn't realise, I actually timed it last night, and I'm taking way longer than it should do. But that's because, you know me, I can't shut up and I keep talking. So, it's a long album, but then it's my first solo album, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to make it a long one because God knows it's taken so long to do. Who knows if there'll ever be another one, so I might as well make a gigantic statement. This is another one. I've only ever played this live once, I do believe. Yes. So we're on the home straight. You know, we've just had a big, powerful surge of emotion, and now we're going down into the quietness towards us to fade the album out. But this one is called If You Ever. And here's my set list. I actually had a set list. Here we go. This is called If You Ever. Again, this is the second song. There's only 2 songs on the album where it's just the guitar and a voice. One guitar, that's it. This is the other one. If you ever wonder why I left without saying goodbye, if you ever thought about it at all, didn't, did you? You probably haven't even noticed yet. Maybe you never will. But if you ever find you need someone, it won't be me, I won't be there. There was a time I'd have done anything for you, but that long time ago. Oh yeah! So if you ever find yourself counting the cost and realize what you actually lost, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon, maybe never at all. But if you look at the last line of my song, you'll see the truth is there all along. But if you've forgotten what it was I said, I'll say it just one last time. If you carry on, you'll lose what you could have had, but you did, and now I'm gone. So if you ever wonder where I went, well now you know. But if you're ever ill, you need a friend, don't come looking round here. I wish you well, health and happiness, but not with me. That shit sailed long ago, and it's never coming back. I just realised as I was playing that there's two guitar parts on it, because as I was playing it, I remembered that last time I was in the studio and I put the other guitar part down, it's a picky part. It's like... So there's that part and the strumming part. And I remember hearing it back in the headphones after recording it, and it sounded wonderful. So I actually was talking crap. There's actually two guitars on that. So take no notice of me. I'm clearly, me bad. Because I've been recording the album, I started recording quite some time ago, but various different things, but the good thing is that you can sort of look at things, and if there's anything that needs changing, you can go back over it. Rather, sometimes if you're in a studio, you're there for a week, you just do it, and then afterwards you go, oh God, I wish I'd done that better. So you can look back. So, but yeah, we've come to the end of the album. This next song is the last song, and it is the last song on the album. Now, this set list that I've just played isn't necessarily going to be the track listing. Certainly the beginning, the end, and the bit in the middle is. It's the bits in between that I'm not entirely certain of. But this is the last song on the album. And I always finish my sets with this. If anybody wants me to play anything else on, I'm sure you can't be. It's an hour and 42 minutes. You must be bored. The actual album isn't an hour and 42 minutes long, by the way. It's actually shorter than that. But it's about an hour. But with me all waffling, I've stretched it out. But if anyone wants me to play anything else, let me know. But this is the album in its entirety. This is the last song. This is a song called Shipwrecks. And I always imagine sitting on a bench, nighttime, by the sea, staring out to sea. I imagine that you've just heard all the songs on the album, And it's kind of, you're just sitting there. If you smoke, I don't smoke, but if you smoke, you're like thinking about what's just happened. This is called Shipwrecks. And if anyone wants me to play anything else, let me know. If not, this will be the last song of tonight. And it goes like this. Just like ships there passing at night, we just float on by. We don't even turn around or stop to ask ourselves why. Ask ourselves why. Just you and I. Ask ourselves why. Just you and I. Like shipwrecks in the night. Shipwrecks in the night. We're all islands out there, just floating along on our own, so wrapped up in ourselves, so far from home, far from home. Just you and I, far from home. Just you and I, the shipwrecks in the night. Shipwrecks in the night. Life is something that just happens as we're busy making plans. Does anyone even stop to think why? Or is it easier just to hold on by? Just you and I, ask ourselves why. Just you and I, as it breaks in the night. Shipwrecks in the night. What's it all about? Does anyone even really know? Maybe one day I'll get tired and stop asking myself why. Ask myself why. Just you and I, ask myself why. Just you and I, the shipwrecks in the night. Shipwrecks in the night. Now it's all over, and the lights have come back on. The performance is over, and it's time to find our way back home. Just you and I, find our way back home. Just you and I, the shipwrecks in the night. Shipwrecks in the night. Shipwrecks in the night, like shipwrecks in the night. Let the guitar ring. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the entire album. All 16 songs of it. Now, some people said to me that's way too many, but it's taken me so long to make this album, so long to think about making the album, that I don't want to knock out 10 songs, because to me, I mean, some albums that's good, but I just want, it's a statement. Whether or not anyone likes it, that's another thing, but it's my statement to the world. And there's going to be 16 songs on it. Originally, I wanted 13 or 15, but then I added What You Mean to Me that made it 16. And I'm like, okay, well, no, this is how I want it. So it isn't actually, I mean, it's showing here as nearly 2 hours. The album's not 2 hours long. It's like just over an hour. But at least you'll get value for money. Loads of stuff, so. Do you know the thing that I'm going to find very difficult? When live gigs start happening again. Because in this country, in the UK, unless you're headlining, most bands play for half an hour. And the last 17 weeks, I think it is, I've got used to playing for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And it's going to be very difficult to go back to playing for 30 minutes, because I always find that 30 minutes isn't long enough. You've just got going and then the gig's over. So I think it's very difficult for me to have to think about going back to playing 30 minutes. That's 8 songs, allegedly. But then, of course, I do a lot of this. So sometimes it's only 6 songs. But some people think I shouldn't yak while I play. But I'm like, well, you could just stand there and be the Ramones and go one after the other, which is nothing wrong with that. I love the Ramones. But I think I like to tell people the stories behind the songs, make them feel involved. That's why I do it. So, and yes, I said that word. I think we've come to the end of the show. Thank you all for tuning in. That is the album in its entirety. I'm going to try and finish it off as soon as possible, because I've actually was looking at, because this is the set list of the album. That's the album there. And I was actually looking at, this is a list of my other songs that aren't on the album. And this isn't all of them. This is just some of them. There's another 14 songs there. That's the second album right there. Except on this one, there's one song on there that I'm going to make on my second album. It's called Oxygen, which is by my friend Mick Lines. And I'm going to record it for my second album. I wish I'd recorded it for the first one, but it's too late. But yeah, there's the second album right there. I need to finish the first album first, though. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. I hope everyone's still awake and asleep and not asleep. But if you are, that's all right too. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. And be good to each other. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.